Hello everybody, this is Reviews and More, back with a quick kitchen item review. This is a couple of knives from a brand called Knifesaga. They're on Amazon, they have their own website, all the links will be in the description. And as always, if you like this video and find it helpful, please hit the like and subscribe button or leave a comment if you have any questions, and I will try to answer them as best I can. So on to the knives. So there's two knives here, a 7-inch santoku knife, so basically a Japanese chef knife, that's what I think they are. And I'll give a little preview about my ignorance. I'm not a chef. I cook at an amateur level. I'm the primary cook in my home because I love food. So if you see me do things that are not proper or not done properly, don't worry. I don't do this professionally. No one else will ever get harmed other than me and maybe my family if they don't like the angle at which the onions I chopped are chopped. So here we go. There's the meat cleaver. It is 7.5 inches long. I love the handles on these things. They are gorgeous. The meat cleaver handle especially because it's got a lot more of that dark grain in it. I think they're actually both the same handle design, but one just happened to have a much darker grain to it, which I thought was extremely attractive and very, very pretty. One of the great things about these knives is how sharp they are. They are sharpened to an angle of 10 inches, 10 degrees. I'm sounding really stupid. 20 degrees is typical. These are obviously 10, as I stated before. It's very, very, very sharp, which is great. I will point out the only real flaw I have with this is because it's a meat cleaver and it's 10 degrees, it will need to be honed because you will have to deal with bending because of the very narrow edge of the knives. Especially if you're cutting through meat and bone, as I did here with some chicken wings towards the end. And these knives chop through it like butter. It's like it's not even there. It just goes right through it. You might as well just be, it takes no weight, very little pressure, just quick slide of the knife or a chop of the knife, as you see me doing with the santoku here. I'm making chicken and onions with this tonight. That's why you see me cooking, chopping onions and peppers. So that's what's going on here. It is just a beautiful, very quick knife. It works very nice. I can go really thin. I could go almost like see-through thin on the onions if I wanted to. I just didn't need it for this particular dish I'm working on. But each of these knives are I think it's $40 for the santoku and $50 for the cleaver. But there's a 40% off coupon as of making this video at the moment. So I think you can get them both for around in the low 30s, which is a very good deal. And these knives are extremely well made. The cases and covers that come with them can be reused. That's just fine if you want to store your knives in boxes. They can also obviously put into blocks that accommodate the size that is necessary. The company itself also sells full knife block sets, although I didn't see one with the meat cleaver, so I think the meat cleaver you got to buy separately if that's what you want it for. Obviously, the santoku knife is primarily used for vegetables. It's like a Japanese veggie knife. You can also use it on like boneless meats. I would not recommend using it on bone-in meats or chopping through anything like chicken wings, which you'll see me do later on. It's really more for prepping vegetables for whatever dishes you're making, as well as prepping boneless meat. Overall, I have some fairly large hands. I'm about 6 feet tall. I got some pretty big hands on me, and these fit very nicely. Although they have a nice little bulge to them. So if you have smaller hands, you'll still feel like you get a pretty good grip on them. Overall, I feel like the weight was great. I didn't include it in this, but they are balanced. The santoku knife is balanced right at the hilt of the knife, so right where the wood line is. If you were to balance that on your finger, it balances pretty much perfectly from just being well balanced and well weighted, which is very nice. So it doesn't feel clunky in your hand. It feels like it's very much a part of your hand as you're going through it and running through there really fast. It's just overall a very high quality, well-made knife. Now, as far as cleaning goes, obviously you don't put these in the dishwasher for no other reason than the handles themselves. The handles, I can't talk enough about them because typically when you buy knives from a big box store, even like if you buy like very well-made, I'm going to say custom, but with big air quotes that you can't see because I'm doing a voiceover. But if you buy custom knives or high quality knives like Henckels or something, even if they're wood grained, they're often extremely polished or extremely like they have like a lot of coating on them because they want to be nice and shiny. These aren't as shiny because the finish is more of a matte finish, so it doesn't feel like it's going to get greasy or slippy in your hands, and it just feels like you got a much better grip on it overall because the finish on the actual wood grain isn't glossy. It's not super duper acrylic-y. It doesn't feel like you're just touching like hardwood floors that have just been polished. It feels like you're holding a piece of wood that's meant to be a handle to be held and used, which I can't speak more highly of because I don't like plastic handles for that reason because they end up not being easy to hold. They feel like you're going to slip. And cleaning, obviously I said earlier, cleaning was you don't want to dishwash these, but cleaning's very quick, doesn't take long. You run through it, get a dry paper towel once you're done cleaning it, and wipe it off and dry it off. Because the handles are wood and because they don't have a very thick varnish on them, I would recommend you getting it very dry prior to storing if you're storing it inside the boxes. If you're storing in a block or you're storing it hanging on like a magnet strip in your kitchen or something, it'll dry on its own just fine. And here you see the cleaver making quick work of some chicken wings, just busting through them like they're not even there. Again, the only complaint I have with this is that 10-degree sharpness. It's very, very sharp for a cleaver. Cleavers are meant to kind of cut through bone, which means they need to have a little bit more of a blunt edge that's a little stronger, holds up to a little more work. But because it's so sharp, it does burn through this very quickly, but you will end up needing to re-hone these every now and again if you keep using them for things like bones, chicken wings, that kind of stuff. Even I wouldn't worry about things like gourds or watermelon, that kind of stuff, like your harder vegetables, because they're not as hard as the bone inside these chicken wings. But you do need to be careful. You need to understand that the more you cut with bone with this cleaver, the more you have to do maintenance on the knife to keep it sharp, honed, and not like make basically wobbly or wiggly with the metal. So it doesn't take much practice. Google a honing video. It's that little stick thing you see in knife blocks if you've never seen before, and it's not too hard to hone this knife. I did it shortly after because I had one little bend in it because I knew it was going to happen with that 10-degree sharpness, but overall it turned out very, very nice, and I would love to keep doing this, but I ate all the chicken wings and now I'm out of them, and now I just got to use this again later on. But again, just understand you will have to re-hone these knives fairly often or resharpen them to a more blunt edge, like 20 degrees, something that's more accommodating to chopping bone. And there you see the bone chopped right there. So that's the end of the video, guys. That's a basic explanation of these knives. Again, this Knifesaga, they do a great job. They have a whole store on Amazon as well as a website, and I'll link all the fun stuff in the description. And have a great, great day.